Welcome to episode 4 of attempting my first giant pumpkin. This variety is called Big Macs and we are 16 days in. And if you haven't watched the other episodes, so this one isn't actually one of those exhibition pumpkins, the giant 1,000 kilo giant pumpkins. This is a heirloom. It can roughly grow around 50 kilos and grow in excess up to 65 to 90 kilos. But yeah, at this stage she's currently looking good. She is looking a bit long. Kind of funny, she looks a bit like a peanut. The stem is looking nice and thick and very yellow. I like that as well. That it's not just green. It's pretty much the same color as the pumpkin currently. And we looks like we still got some more baby pumpkins wanting to grow, but we have to make sure to check pretty much the whole plant, make sure none of these grow. And we've been getting a lot of rainy days, which is a bit surprising because we're being forecast for El Nino. She should be fine, but this flooding almost reached her. But there's a few vines I have to lift up, like this one here. Day 21. At this stage, it kind of looks like she's not growing too much, but then with the help of the bottle, you'll know she's still growing. Oh yeah, and while I'm editing this, the pumpkin is already harvested, and I'm excited to show you guys the little time-lapse video I made. The front, it doesn't, because of the way the pumpkin's growing, it's more stretching out. The front doesn't look like it's growing too big. Like if you just looked at the front on its own, you'd be like, yeah, that's not that big of a pumpkin. And then you look at the side. The plant leaves are still in good health. I have been spraying it, so as long as we don't get too much rain, it should be fine. And I have been trying to keep this as dry as possible. There are a few new... They're kind of soft. Not that soft. It's kind of rotting, so I have to get that cleaned up. So I just scraped off all those soft rotting tissue, and then I sprayed a bit of fungicide on it. Day 24, we got another rain. Powdery mildew is starting to come back out. Here's my golden nugget, growing some fruits again. And here she is looking pretty big here. I think at this stage is when the skin is starting to actually sound hard. And we still got lots of flowers growing, which is nice. Even when I scrape those soft tissue off, it still seems to be spreading. So I'm actually gonna go get myself a little fan. And I actually haven't looked at the bottom yet. It's not too bad. I expected it to be a bit flatter, but it seems to be pointing upwards. And it looks like we got some more rain scheduled. So here's all the pumpkins that I did harvest, just curing these ones in the sun. So I scraped up more of those soft tissue, gave it another fungicide spray, and I bought myself a mini portable fan. It looks like she's about to touch that wooden stake, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. I think at this stage I stopped moving the bottle because I'm time-lapsing it so I can see the growth anyway. I think around this time her color is starting to develop. She's looking a little more orange. It rained a bit, so I put the fan in the cover, and I actually like the airflow. It's a bit more focused. And we had a slight hail. They were really tiny, not too much. But as soon as I heard it, I'm like, okay, I have to protect the plant. But anyway, some rain, a bit of hail. No damage done. Pumpkin is well protected. But I'm lucky the hail wasn't too big, or the leaves would have been pretty much destroyed. Here we have my other pumpkins. Most of these leaves belong to my Japanese pumpkin, which have not fruited at this stage. But I'm kind of glad I didn't take it out, because by the time I'm editing this, we have a lot of fruits growing. And just in case, because there's an issue, planted some marigold, but apparently the effects of marigold doesn't actually take effect until the next season. If there is nematode problems, I can't do anything about it, but at least this will help for next year. And this pretty much looks dry. I think around this stage he's probably around 20 kilos. I'll mention it on the 5th episode. But yeah, apparently the walls are only 3 to 4 inches thick. I think here I was estimating it around 40 kilos already, or 45, but yeah, when I found out the walls were like 3 inches thick, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it might not be that heavy. And our first jet pumpkin of the year is looking pretty nice. Good size. And the Australian report says El Nino for the whole summer. They got that wrong for sure with the amount of rain. And the pumpkin is starting to have deep ribbing. Only at the base. The rest of the pumpkin, it's not that deep. I'm afraid to bend it so far back that it might crack, but I think we should be okay. And just in case, because of all the rain, I transferred the fan here just to dry the bottom. The sand does help a lot, so I'm glad I actually used that, even though this is not like an exhibition pumpkin. This fan's pretty handy. Yeah, it's got a clip too, so you can clip it onto stuff. And a flexible neck. We gotta get underneath to dry. Some of the sand that's on the ground, that is, it's a bit moldy. And I'm trying to make sure it doesn't mold where the pumpkin's sitting on. So most of the older leaves are dying off, but they're getting replaced with new growth. So I think conditions have stabilized on the stem. There's no more of that liquid coming out, and it's nice and dry. As you can see here, the right side's got a nice bump, and the left one is the flat end. Makes for an interesting shape though, but I wonder how much heavier it could have been if it was rounded on the other side as well. But yeah, that's it. See you guys on the next episode, episode 5, which is pretty much the week before harvest. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.